Today's news.
Hostage negotiations. One constant has been prioritizing civilians. Talking with China.
I welcome the positive steps we've taken today.
Turkey, trimmings, and inflation.
Definitely more conscious about what we purchase.
Good morning. I'm Steve Kathan with the CBS World News Roundup. High-stakes talks in the Middle East about the hostages held by Hamas. CBS's Ed O'Keefe has the latest information.
In this latest proposal, Israel would agree to a 3 to 5 day ceasefire. During that time, aid would be allowed into Gaza, and a group of the youngest hostages and women would be released. Two officials with knowledge tell CBS News children are being prioritized as part of the first wave of a potential hostage release. In addition, one of the officials said that an unspecified number of Palestinian women and children currently held in Israeli prisons also potentially would be swapped.
Residents say Israeli forces dropped leaflets warning Palestinians to flee parts of southern Gaza, signaling a possible expansion of their offensive to areas where hundreds of thousands have relocated. Israeli soldiers are searching the Al-Shifa hospital after raiding it yesterday. Correspondent Rami Inocencio has more behind the scenes in Gaza.
We met Captain D, an Israeli-American drone pilot. He's flown hundreds of missions to survey and strike Gaza.
When we see someone firing a rocket and then running into a hospital, we now know that that hospital is involved in terrorist organizations.
How do you differentiate between civilians and militants?
It's not easy.
Hamas militants are launching attacks from and hiding hostages in one of the most densely populated places in the world.
Have you had to abort a strike?
Yes, many times. If I had $1 for every time I heard we have children coming in, I'd be a very wealthy man.
Still, he admits mistakes are made.
Sometimes we do mess up. Sometimes there are people who we don't mean to hit who are there. And I was asked before, how do you feel? I feel tricked.
Here at home, protesters demanding a ceasefire in the war were confronted by police outside the D.C. headquarters of the Democratic National Committee. CBS's Nicole Killian.
Palestinian protesters blocked the entrance of the Democratic National Committee as officers tried pulling them away from the door. Several members of Congress were inside at the time. CBS News has learned that included the top 3 Democratic leaders in the House. California Congressman Brad Sherman was also there.
We were told we were locked down and would not be allowed to leave.
The lawmakers were evacuated as the violence escalated blocks from the Capitol, where House office buildings also went into lockdown.
People got thrown down the stairs.
I was shocked by seeing police officers throw protesters over the railing, over stairs, by making them in pepper spray.
According to U.S. Capitol Police, 6 officers suffered minor injuries from being pepper sprayed, punched, and shoved.
What could be the beginning of a thaw in relations between the United States and China. CBS's Weijia Jiang reports on the takeaway after President Biden's meeting with China's President Xi.
We're back to direct, open, clear, direct communication.
President Biden came out of the summit announcing that the two countries agreed to crack down on the illegal production of fentanyl by targeting the Chinese companies that supply and export the ingredients used to make the opioid. And both agreed to restore key military communications after China went dark when then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan.
Miscalculations on either side can cause real trouble with a country like China.
Last night, the Senate overwhelmingly approved a temporary spending package already passed by the House to keep the government running and head off an end-of-the-week shutdown. Democratic leader Chuck Schumer.
I hope the new speaker continues to choose the bipartisan approach as he commendably has in his first foray.
Speaker Mike Johnson relied on Democratic support to get the bill through. President Biden is expected to sign it. Reports say the Oakland Athletics move to Las Vegas has been unanimously approved by Major League Baseball owners. 4 minutes after the hour.
Well, that's today's news. Today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. It's 58 degrees outside.